I'm telling you right now, I already have a good vibe about today. Today's going to be a really good show. I just can feel it. You know what I mean? There's so many things happening right now in the PMP universe. A lot of activity bubbling up. And Tony, before we say hello, I just would like to say that we have a three-way tie for the pre-show post of the day. I like to peruse, before we start the show live. I'm always keeping an eye on what you guys are talking about. So first of all, shout out to Rags and your Moody Blues reference. Hey, Rags, check this out, or anybody else who loves great music. You want to see something really cool with the Moody Blues? Go to YouTube after the show and search this. Robin Zander, Nights in White Satin. There's a version of Robin Zander singing Nights in White Satin, like with a not a symphony. It's like a scaled down symphony with strings and violins. Freaking amazing. I like it better than the original. Okay, that's Rex. Then the three-way tie. First of all, I want to shout out Marcel Pantaleone, who said accurately and briefly, F the Chiefs. Fantastic. I would like to also award Gravy, my main man, Mark Graves, who said Chris Jones quit on the last play 100%. I was watching him. The guy was literally just standing there. Their defensive tackle, the Kansas City Chiefs, number 95, standing there, not making any, literally watching friggin' Lawrence run into the end zone with his hands just limp at his side. Unbelievable. So, Gravy, I love that. And then finally, Noemi, who you never miss an opportunity. Hashtag defund the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, so it's a three-way tie today. I love all of y'all. Creative Tony in your kimono. We have Paul Tonelli joining us in about a half an hour today. We're talking Niners. Dude, Niners Bucks. Get ready. This could be crazy to say this, but this game could be a playoff preview. The Bucks have to be taken seriously. They're playing really good football. Baker Mayfield probably playing the best ball of his entire career. So we'll talk to Tonell about that. Also, the Kansas City Chiefs. Creative Tony in the kimono. How you doing today, buddy? I know you want to talk some baseball playoffs too, but we got a lot to get to. How's my man feeling today?
You talked about Xander's version of that tune. I want to this morning on my shuffle, Etta James's version of this Rolling Stones "Miss You" came on.
Oh my God, I never even heard this. I love what you're saying. Give me more.
It's fantastic. She did an album called "Matriarch of the Blues." It is a phenomenal album. I have the record on vinyl. I got it from Vinyl Solution. Tommy Tunes saw me cruising the blues section. He goes, "Hey, stop what you're doing. Walk with me." And he brought me over to the Matriarch of the Blues album. And he goes, "You should probably get this today." And what's cool about Tommy, he's like, you know what, man, if you totally hate it, you don't like it, bring it back. We'll work something out. I've yet to bring a record back. Every single one that he's recommended, he's just like, all right. And that he recommends, I'm like, done. I'm taking this. And it's great. Every record he's recommended has been great.
It's so funny that Tommy Tunes is like that. So my guy Barry up here at Red Devil, he's the same way. And sometimes he'll get forceful with me. He'll be like, you need to have this. Yeah. And I'll just look, I'll be like, whatever he's handing me is like, okay, put it on the pile. I'll buy it. Cause I usually want to buy a few albums. He did that a couple trips back, Tony. I was there about a month ago. He came walking up to me with a Miles Davis record. Cause I've been listening to Miles, and he goes, you got to have this album right here if you like Miles Davis. And it's a live album. It's called Miles Davis 4 and More, recorded in New York City back in the 60s. And it's insane, dude. I've been listening to it every single day. So I love these guys who just strong arm you into buying music because they know we're music lovers. And shout out to Tommy Tunes.
Speaking of strong arming, I got to jump in right away. I just love how Patrick Mahomes is allowed to just strong arm referees into picking up flags. Dude, in the first half alone, and we're going to revisit this with Paul Tonelli in the bottom of the hour, but in the first half alone, 3 plays, dude, 3 monumental, massively huge plays go the Chiefs' way. And I'm just sitting there going, you got to be S-ing me right now. You got to be kidding me right now. This is unbelievable, dude. They get away. First of all, Thornton, that wasn't a catch because the ball hit the ground. And I know they say that now that they allow the ball to hit the ground, but when the ball hitting the ground makes it a catch, makes him able to catch the ball and secure the ball, that's not a catch. That is not a freaking catch, number one. Number two, then the PI on the touchdown to Kelsey, Even all three analysts on the broadcast,
It was it was an illegal pick. You can't do that. Yeah, no, you can't do that. I saw defensive pass interference on 2 different plays last night that went uncalled. It's obnoxious. This is what we've been talking about for years. This is why and I would like to say this. I was thinking about this watching the game last night. Arkansas Dave, 100% F the Muppet, bro. I'm with you on that. In spirit, in on this earth, me and you. I just want people to know, Tony knows me. I don't think you would call me like a hater. I don't like hate people or teams or without good reason. You know what I mean? Like, I never hated the Patriots when Tom Brady was quarterbacking and their whole dynasty. I didn't hate them. I thought they were legitimate champions. My biggest beef with the Chiefs is exactly what Tony's talking about. Yep. They manipulate the outcome of games as well as having the league kind of usher them into favorable positions, whether it's picking up. I mean, dude, I told Tony this during the game last night. We were texting back and forth, watching Mahomes run down the field and yell at the refs until they pick the floor. What is this, dude? You make a mockery of the game. You make a mockery of the league. And I told Tony, you know what? A lot of people are calling Patrick Mahomes the greatest quarterback they've ever seen. Let me tell you, the greatest quarterback I've ever seen is Joe Montana. And you want to know what? I never saw him argue with the refs once in his entire career. I can't recall a single incident. Same with Steve Young. I can't recall Steve Young ever yelling at a ref. I can't recall Troy Aikman yelling at a ref. But yet that's what Patrick Mahomes does. That's how he butters his bread. And if they don't get the calls, dude, they act out like spoiled children. It's like they are used to doing whatever they want to do on the football field. And they got flagged 13 times last night. 13, finally. Dude, and there should have been more. There should have been more.
There should have been at least 16, Paulie. There was. How about the on Jacksonville on the interception? They intercepted Trevor Lawrence, and it was PI on that play as well. In their own territory, 2 plays later, KC scores a touchdown. It's gross, dude. It's gross. And by the way, we have sound from the ref. The ref just went up to Mahomes and said,
"The rules are there ain't no rules."
Basically, he said, "You know what? Go ahead, Patrick. The rules don't apply to you. The rules don't apply to the Chiefs." So, and by the way, speaking of rules play, one of the rules we have on the show is we get to supers when they happen. So, yeah. And I'm trying to be better about that. This is my New Year's resolution in October to basically get better about putting the supers on the show when they happen. So, okay. Escobar Cheeks the third. He is a super, and he says the overrated Phillies are at it again. F them, dude. F them. So bad, Escobar. I watched, I'm texting with Paulie. Paulie's asking me, did you see that play in the Casey game? I go, no, dude, I'm locked in on the bottom of the ninth.
There was a lot going on last night. It was a great sports night, yeah.
But I was like, no, I'm locked in on the bottom of the ninth and Phillies Dodgers, only to see them gag that away, man. I mean, nice bunt by Stott, but then Castellanos gets thrown out by 3 feet. I mean, he gets thrown out by 3 feet at third base, and it's like, dude, the bunt sign's on. You got to cheat a little bit as a base runner. You got to get a good secondary. You got, as soon as that pitch is thrown, you got to assume that ball is getting put in play, and your only job is to get to third base. I mean, dude. Anyways, that was a really, really, really frustrating play. And then Paulie. So yes, Escobar, I totally hear you. And then Paulie, this is so great that Sons of John and the Masters checking in because dude, right before the show, Sons, I said to Paulie, I said, dude, we got to talk about the Rush news, and he goes, absolutely, we got to talk about the Rush tour. And I couldn't agree more. They need more shows. Paulie, your old soundbite.
I need more shows. Well, first of all, Sons, thank you very much. And no, I'm beyond excited. A lot of people, I mean, Tony knows this. Rags definitely knows this. When I was a teenager in New Jersey in high school, Rush was like my band. They were number one for me. Like, they were the first concert I ever saw at Madison Square Garden. Tony, first show I ever saw at the Garden, 1982, Rush on the Signals tour. And without being too overly dramatic, it kind of was a life changer for me. I'd never seen music played like that intensely, and the crowd going that crazy. And I fell in love with them. And they were like my number one band for a very long time. Alex Lifeson, by the way, arguably my favorite guitar player of all time. I'm serious. He's amazing. And nobody talks about him because Geddy Lee's a beast. The late Neil Peart is a beast. Now, here's the big question. If you didn't hear the news, for the first time in 10 years, Russia's going to go out and do some dates next summer. And their drummer, Neil Peart, widely regarded as probably the best drummer on planet Earth. sadly passed away from brain cancer. Really, really sad situation. So they've been kind of in mourning. They kind of went underground. And the fact that they want to play their music again is really great. It just, I mean, I think we all need this right now. Some good news somewhere. So they have tapped this young lady from Germany. I think her name is Tony. Her name is Anika Niles. I know she's got heavy credentials. She's played with Jeff Beck. And the thing is this, Alex Lifeson and Geddy Lee would not have her in the band if she couldn't play. Believe me. So I know people are uptight. Oh my God, who is this? Dude, trust those guys. They know what they're doing. They know what a good drummer sounds like. So I'm excited. And yes, I don't know if they're going to add more dates. My gut is yes. I think once they get a taste of being back out there, they're going to want to do more. So right now, Tony, I'm not kidding. I'm thinking about the 2 LA shows, and I'm thinking about the 2 New York shows at Madison Square Garden, just as a starting point, a jumping off point. Rags, I'll see you there, dude. I'll see you there. So, Tony, yes, of course, I'm thrilled about the Rush news. I didn't expect it at all.
2 of my favorite indoor venues of all time, the Forum and MSG, and to see Rush at either of those places, if not both, is golden. And obviously this girl Anika has chops, man, because to play Rush's music, you can't skim by. You need to be on your A game when you are
game. Yeah.
When you are playing what the music that Neil Peart helped create, right? So I'm very, very excited about this news. And dude, I read in an article that part of the reason was conversations they had with Paul McCartney. And Paul McCartney was like, you need to get on the road. You need to get back out and play. What are you doing? And then the quote from Geddy Lee, as we realized after the conversation, is that how much we effing miss it. And we're getting back on the road. And I think you're right, man. Once they get a taste, as long as they can handpick their tours and handpick their dates and be able to call their own shots, I think we're going to see more of this, man, especially when they find their groove with this new drummer and they're like, damn, dude. And I think knowing these guys, these are both very humble guys. I don't think they're ready for the reception that they're going to get.
They have no idea what's coming. They don't know what's coming. People are going to be crying. People are going to be laughing and crying at the same time. That'll be me. And by the way, the last Rush concert ever performed was at the LA Forum. That was the last time the original 3 ever played together. And now they're picking up right where they left off, starting the tour at the Forum. Yeah, it's going to be very, very emotional. I literally cannot wait. Sons will be rapping, believe me, and I'll see you down there. Hey, Danny Ogden, bro. You and me, bro, Jags for life. I was the biggest. I might have been a bigger Jags fan than you last night, kid, because watching the Chiefs fall on the national stage, it warms the cockles of my heart, Tony. I'm talking cockles, and so should you. How are your cockles today? Hopefully warm. But no, dude, 31-28 is your final score. Trevor Lawrence really showed a lot last night. I've always liked that kid. I think he's been in a less than envious position for a few years in Jacksonville. Now it looks like he has a little something around him. And that last touchdown, dude, getting stepped on, but center steps on his foot. He falls down, gets up, collects himself, runs in. And again, Chris Jones just standing there. That's what champions do. Hands at your side, just limp. Dude, he didn't even pretend like he was making a play for the ball. He just stood there. Well, if you see the play again, keep an eye on 95. Watch him.
Totally. And Devin Lloyd's pick 6, 99 yards was so great. He was
Holmes missing the tackle, dude, whiffing on the tackle. Everything about that. Bro, I was literally jumping up and down screaming. Danny Ogden, I hope you could hear me on the other side of the bay because I scared my neighbors last night, dude. I was just as excited as you were.
He was hell bent on getting to the end zone on that pick 6. If you watch that play over, he is chugging.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
Dude, I got to give her, that wide receiver Thornton was trying to catch up to him, and he did catch up to him, but he didn't get a good enough grasp on him before he crossed the goal line. But dude, I mean, you want to talk about like the heart of staying in a ball game and not giving up. The lesson to all kids out there, look at that game last night. Right? Look at that freaking game, man. And to come back and win that game. And dude, again, despite the referees, they won the game. I would like to say the Jags won that game. Despite, sure, they got 13 flags. They should have had 16 or 17. And some of those flags were in such crucial moments, dude. I reiterate, Paulie, but the PI that was called, the flag was thrown.
Which one are we talking about? The one in the end zone? Like
the first one on Kelsey's touchdown.
Yeah.
The flag was thrown. And dude, Troy Aikman, Joe Buck, and the rules analyst. I'm forgetting his name right now, but the rules analyst They all said, "Oh yeah, offensive PI all the way." And then all of a sudden, Mahomes yells. He went at least a yard. He went at least. I can't do Mahomes' voice. Maybe you can do it.
1 yard, dog. Hey, dog. Hey, dog. He went 1 yard. Come on, dog.
And hey, what do you know? They pick up the flag. What do you know? It's like, you got to be kidding me that they picked up the flag. So I was so pissed off about that. And then, dude, the catch with Thornton wasn't a catch. And then, we got Paulie frozen. Paulie's frozen. Paulie, if you can hear me, leave the studio and come back, dude. And then also, you guys, in the second half, when the Jags threw a pick, it was a PI on that play as well. It was a ridiculous joke. So yes, and by the way, Rags, yes, unfreeze Paulie. I don't know what's going on. Paulie, we got to get you unfrozen. I just got a text from Paulie. It just says Jesus H. So, anyways, looking at my notes here. So happy that the Jags won the game, and look out, 4-1 Jags, 4-1 Niners, 4-1 Eagles. And I love the Niners situation in the NFC West, that they are 3-0 against the division. So thank you, DeMarcado, by the way. By the way, I want to credit Lily Merchant from yesterday, saying that one of the duds of the day should have been a DeMarcado for the Cardinals dropping that ball before he crossed the goal line. Absolutely. But thank you, Titans, for taking care of the Cardinals, and thank you, Bucks, for taking care of the Seahawks. But now the Niners have to turn around and go across country to Tampa and play a very good football team in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they're banged up. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in this game. And is it going to be Mac Jones? Is it going to be Brock Purdy? We were talking about this off the air. If Brock Purdy says he's healthy, do you let him play? Is Brock Purdy saying he's healthy just because he wants to play, even though he's not fully healthy and shouldn't play? Is Mac Jones going to be healthy enough to play? Adrian Martinez is just sitting on the sideline saying, "Oh my God, I better be ready to play." And then is McCaffrey the backup to Adrian Martinez? It's a lot of questions going on in the Niners lineup. I did like to see that Malik Mustafa was back in practice yesterday. That was very nice to see. Malik Mustafa back on the field. I hope you all remember how much of a force he was last season, and to get him back is huge. And I believe that Kittle will be back week 7. It's interesting, though. It's very quiet on the Brandon Ayuk front. All quiet on the Brandon Ayuk front. Let me see. Paulie just got a blackout. Hold on. I'm getting text, you guys. This is live texting. He says his power went out. Hilarious. His power went out at the house. I don't even know what to tell you guys. That is hysterical. And let's see, Pine Needle checking in. He says, this is the NFL. Sometimes you got to play with a little bit of pain. If Brock's even close, he needs to play this game. Yeah, I guess you're right, Pine. But with this turf toe, this thing could linger. I was likening it to a groin injury yesterday, saying because these things just linger. And if he plays, and are we looking at like another setback? My uncle Paul Tonelli, who is going to come on the show later if Paulie's power comes back on, he was saying he could tell that Brock Purdy's toe was not healthy when they played Jacksonville because he wasn't planting on his foot. And you got to be able to plant on your foot to get some mustard on the ball and to get some zip on the ball and not have balls sail. Well, if you remember the Jags game, the balls were sailing. So sailing takes me away to where I've always heard it could be. Christopher Cross. That's for Christopher Cross, everybody. And by the way, total side note, if you haven't seen the Yacht Rock documentary yet, which Bill Simmons helped produce, the Yacht Rock documentary, what is it on? Apple TV? It's on something. I forget what it's on. Anyways, look it up. The Yacht Rock documentary by Bill Simmons, or he helped produce it, is really, really good. Total other side note, I just saw the remake of the new Naked Gun with Liam Neeson. And I got to say, better than expected. Pam Anderson, better than expected. And supposedly, Pam Anderson and Liam Neeson are now a couple ever since they worked together on the set of that movie. So that's really cool. And then Fareed, if you're on the chat, Robot Center, if you're on the chat, or if anybody else is on the chat that has seen one battle after another, I just got a text from my dear friend Joseph Quinn, and Paulie loves Joseph because when Joseph's an amazing musician. But when we played with Joseph wore a purple scarf around like a t-shirt. And so Paulie nicknamed him Scarf. That's all he calls him. But Joseph sent a text today, and I want to read this text about one battle after another. He says, I'm giving full alert that you must see One Battle After Another in the theater. He goes, it's an effing masterpiece. Tension, and that keeps ratcheting up with mesmerizing performances, great camera work and editing, and score. He goes, also laugh out loud funny and multiple all-time car chases. So that is a review from One Battle After Another, and basically anything Leonardo DiCaprio does, it is really, really good. So One Battle After Another, it's a quick movie review. I had notes to talk about Mark Sanchez today, about what the hell's going on with Mark Sanchez. And the story keeps on getting stranger and stranger and more bizarre. And it turns out I saw some camera footage of him walking down an alley after he got stabbed, and he's like holding his side. And I did he walk to the ER? Did he get picked up? I don't know all the details, but I know that he came at this guy who was changing the oil of at a restaurant, I believe, late at night. Just such a bizarre story. Paulie and I were going to talk about that a little bit too. Let me see. Hold on. Paulie is also texting back real quick. Pause. This is live on air production. Let's see. Okay. Dom and Paulie are texting each other, trying to get this worked out on the back end. So we carry on. One note I did make. First of all, I love that the Yankees are down 2-0. I love that. I couldn't be rooting against the Dodgers and Yankees enough. Again, petty it may be, shallow it may be, but I'm a sports fan, and when the Giants aren't in it, I like to see the underdogs win. So, like I said, go Tigers and Brewers. Brewers don't care; they're just taking care of business, and it might be the Brewers here. The ghost of Bob Uecker might be involved in this postseason, and that would be a wonderful thing. Go Uke and go Brewers. But Rodon is on the mound tonight in New York for the Yankees in the Bronx. And wouldn't it be so sweet if Rodon is on the mound to give up the season-ending loss for the Yankees? I think that would be incredible. So I'm rooting wholeheartedly against Carlos Rodon. He's one of the few lefties that I root against. I root for most lefties. I don't root for him. I don't root for Blake Snell. They're both lefties that came in. They were Giants for whatever, a year or two, and they used the team for leverage to get bigger contracts. And they didn't give a crap about San Francisco. They didn't give a crap about the Giants. They didn't even give a crap about sticking around, being a Giant, making the team better. Don't get me started on Rodon or Snell. So I'm rooting feverishly against those two. Also, talking about the playoffs today too is Seattle at Detroit. That series is tied 1-1. Go Detroit. Although if Seattle wins that series, I'm happy for Seattle too, because Paulie and I were talking, you want to talk about two great music cities, Detroit and Seattle. I mean, come on. Motown versus like the birthplace of grunge, even though I know a lot of the grunge era musicians don't even like that term. But you think about all the bands that came out of Seattle or that still come out of Seattle, and then you think about Detroit, and you think about listening to the Philly crowd, and they were humming the White Stripes, Seven Nation Army. And I said, God, I wonder when Jack White and Meg White wrote that song that they would realize that it had become an international stadium anthem to the point where crowds just chant it in the stadium. It's a pretty cool thing to do, but hey, they're from Detroit. Obviously, Eminem from Detroit. And like I said before, Motown, MC5. So whoever comes out of that series, I'm really happy for. Toronto, I'm not against Toronto either. You got Gosman, you got Vlad Guerrero Jr., who if you saw the Grand Slam that Vlad Guerrero jumped on, that was one of the greatest pieces of hitting I've seen in a long time. It's almost like the ball exploded off of his bat. It was unreal. And I watched that back with my son probably 5 or 6 times, saying, watch, because it was I think it was a 2-1 count. Yeah, it was 2-0, and then he took a strike. And after he took a strike, I watched. He took a huge, deep breath. And I'm big on that when I coach the kids that I coach about breathing. Deep breathing is such a huge part of playing sports, the mental part of sports. And shout out the mindfulness program we have here at San Carlos Little League. But to take a moment and gather yourself, get control of your breathing, try to get control of your heart rate. He did exactly that in the box. And then next pitch, a laser grand slam to left field. I mean, it was an incredible moment for the Blue Jays. So I'm happy for them, but I would rather see Tigers or Seattle against the Brewers in the World Series. If it ends up being the Cubs, so be it. But the Cubs are down 2-0, so that doesn't bode well. And then whoever wins, Brewers Cubs, has to go up against most likely the freaking Dodgers. Man, the freaking Dodgers. I don't know if you saw the game last night, but Freddie Freeman had a great scoop. Freddie Freeman, I don't think, gets enough love for his defensive prowess at first base. A game-saving dig for the final out of the game last night. And Tommy Edman had a case of the Steve Sachs, a case of Chuck Knobloch yips on that throw. It's like, and if you watch the replay, it was like a knuckleball almost. His hand was kind of like a knuckleball, and he made that throw, and Freddie Freeman saved his ass. And who was it? Brian Johnson, I think, was the play-by-play guy. He says Edmund needs to take Freddie Freeman out to the greatest steak dinner of his life after that play, because he saved the game. And by the way, I think Paulie's back, everybody. Hold on. I think Paulie went down to the fuse box, maybe turned on some fuses. Did you Paulie? Hey, welcome back.
Dude. Okay. By the way, let me launch a few complaints. Dude, I'm talking to you without a mic. It's pitch black in here. I got no power. And you know why I'm back, dude? Dom effing Peralta, dude. I don't know how he did it, but he did it. He walked me through a bunch of stuff, and here I am. So I don't have any mic, Tony. I'm going to have to shout at you like this. Yes. But let me just say this. Yeah. I'm so glad I live in Marin County and pay these property taxes that cost I don't want to announce any numbers on the air, but let me just say it's obnoxious. The freak and what do I get for it? No power. Yay, another blackout. By the way, yeah.
You can hear me, and can you hear this?
Satan.
Yes, I can. But I have no headphones, Tony. My Rodecaster's down, so I have no headphones. I have no mic.
Okay, well, hang on one sec. I want to see. Maybe it was
Satan who came to your house and said, "You know what? The Dark Prince, the Prince of Darkness, came by and said, you know what? It's been a while since you've checked in, Paulie. So may I remind you who's boss? Right? Lucifer for life."
Dude, my name is Lucifer. Please take my hand. By the way, I'm still shoving the mic in front of my mouth like a reject. There's no reason. So anyway, I'm back. What are we talking about, Tony? I'll have to make do like this.
Oh, dude, I was going all over the map. I was talking Jags, Chiefs. I was talking Phillies, Dodgers. I was talking MLB playoffs. I'm knee deep in the playoffs, man. Even though the Giants are not in them, I'm knee deep in them because it's such good baseball you're watching. And like it could be like one pitch or one play. And I was talking about, did you happen to see Vlad Guerrero Jr.'s grand slam the other day? Did you see his?
Yes.
I was just talking about what a great at bat that was, because he 2-0 count, then he took a strike, and then he stepped out of the box and took a huge deep breath. And I showed Dom that like 3 times. I'm like, look at the deep breath he just took. He gathered himself, he relaxed himself, he slowed his heart rate down. The next pitch, bombs away, dude. I mean, just a blast into left field. So that's the last thing I think we were talking about. We dabbled in the Mark Sanchez thing, but I thought it'd be better to talk with you about
listen, I'm always up for a late night knife fight, you know what I mean, outside of a bar. Always nice to have a little knife fight before a game. Tony, dude, real quick, have we done any sponsors yet? Because we should probably do one before Tonelli.
Not yet. We will do sponsors, but you know what it reminded me of? I was thinking of the fake knife fight in the Beat It video. Remember the 2 dudes are
like, dude, lunging at each other but not really trying. Yeah, like
yeah. And they're like dancing. They're dancing.
Tony, if I may, I'd like to see your Beat It and raise you a Love is a Battlefield with Pat Benatar. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Dude, Pat Benatar goes in, rounds up all the call girls, and then all of a sudden, dude, here he comes, dude, the pimp with the gold tooth and the white suit.
Yeah.
And they basically have like a dance-off, dude. They have a dance-off. And Pat Benatar starts giving him this. She starts giving him the shoulders. And
Yeah.
the pimp starts backing up, dude. He's backing up. He's like up against the wall. So great videos and great physical confrontations. I'm going beat it. I'm going love is a battlefield, T.
I love as a battlefield. Great video. I'm trying to find the knife fight just to see if we can honor Mark Sanchez's just late night fiasco. I don't even know what else to call it. Did you happen to see the security camera footage of him like walking with hang on a second. Paulie, I gotta share something. I'm gonna share something and you'll be able to enjoy this. Everybody will be able to enjoy this together. Okay, look at where I paused it. Can you see where I paused it? Look at that. That's the beat it video.
Not yet. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah.
Here we go. Just a quick hit. Oh, there you go, dude. There you go. Just incredible. That's the knife fight. And that reminds me of Mark Sanchez. That's what I thought of when I saw that Mark Sanchez got into a knife fight, basically, Paulie. And hey, tip of the cap to Eddie Van Halen in that guitar solo as well.
100%. Never got paid for that, by the way. Didn't get a penny, not a cent, nothing.
Right.
True story.
Unbelievable, man. Hey, I have a question for you, Paulie. Do you want to like punt and resume the show when you have power, or do you want to keep going? What do you want to do? I don't know.
Here's the problem. I may need to jump back off because I don't know what you're seeing, but my end, I'm freezing like every 5 seconds. Yeah. I'm hooked up like Dom hooked me up on some hotspot thing. I don't even know what's going on, bro. But I should probably am I freezing on your end? I'm sorry.
You're not freezing on my end, but you're pixelated. You're not the handsome
hey Tony.
You know. Yeah,
everything sucks. That's all I gotta say. Everything sucks, dude. So why don't you talk to Tonelli, talk some football, and I'm gonna get out of here. Hope that my power comes back. What?
Yeah. Hey, Paulie, I'm gonna let's end the show right now. You and I can get on a phone call. I'll call my Uncle Paul. We'll figure that out. He's fine. And then hopefully we can jump back on later today. Maybe do a 420 hit, like right before Carlos Rodon takes the mound to lose the season.
Done.
All right. So why don't we do that, dude? Yes, Sons of Johnny LeMaster. Paulie is like Max Headroom. That's a great reference, Sons. So hey, everybody, 4:20 p.m. Unless you hear differently. Paulie Mac Particles will be back today at 4:20 p.m. Until then, you know what, Paulie? It's never too late to play. All right, y'all. So we'll see you at 4:20 p.m. Our apologies, but then again, like I tell the kids about umpires and referees, you can't control that. You can't control it. When the power goes out, you can't control it. Just like you can't control the referees and the umpires when you play sports. You got to move on. You got to move forward. So everybody take a nice deep breath. Everybody go have a nice lunch, and we'll reconvene at 4:20 p.m. Cheers, y'all. Peace, y'all. Have a great afternoon. See you at 4:20 p.m.